In this video, we'll be looking at the different types of Tibetan singing bowls and how you can choose the right singing bowl for you. First off, there's actually no wrong choice. Every Tibetan singing bowl has its magic, but you might want to note what the sound feels like for you. Do you instantly love it, or do you instantly dislike it? If you instantly love the sound, that's a good sign that it's a good bowl for you. If you have a real dislike for any particular sound, you might wish to leave that one aside for a while. Now, you'll see that I've got many different types of bowls here, ranging from large to small. Normally, the larger the bowl, the deeper or lower the tone. And the higher tones come in the smaller bowls. But that's not always true. I'm going to play mine from large to small. And you'll notice that they don't always go from low tone to higher tone. So we had one little mystical lower note, even though the bowl itself is smaller. That's one way to begin choosing which bowl you want based off of whether it's a lower note or a higher note, and which one you prefer. Another thing to consider when choosing your Tibetan singing bowl is whether it's a decorative bowl, such as these examples. They might be colored, they might have carvings, or if the bowl is hand hammered. So no decoration, but you can see just a slight indentation in little circles all around it if it's hand hammered. There are some bowls that have been fake hand hammered. They look a little more, they look a little more obvious with the hand hammering. And yet it's not hand hammered. It's been hammered by a machine. Many people still will think they're hand hammered, and that's okay. They're still beautiful bowls. But the true hand hammered will have a very different sound. I'll give you a little example now with two bowls around the same size. A lovely tone, but the tone doesn't sustain quite as long. Still going. Still going. A bowl that is truly hand hammered has a nice long sustain. Now, my first bowl ever was a decorative bowl. And this is a beautiful bowl as well. But as soon as we get these carvings in the bowl, it does change the sound a little bit. So when you're choosing your bowl, you might want to consider whether it's more decorative or hand hammered. Believe it or not, the hand hammered ones, even though they may not look as fancy, are usually more expensive than the decorative ones. Another thing you'll want to take note of is how many tones and overtones you can hear in any particular bowl. Unlike the crystal bowls behind me, which generally are a specific pitch, The Tibetan bowls can actually have a range of pitches in one bowl. And in fact, that's how you can tell how good of quality any particular bowl is. It should have at least two tones, a lower tone and a higher tone. But the higher the quality, the more overtones there'll be. If a bowl only has one tone, it's not as good a quality, but it's still a nice bowl. Let me show you two tones. We have actually more. Now, distinguishing those different tones can be a little challenging at first. Don't worry, your ears will train to be able to hear the different tones. It might also be a little hard to come through the video. You might need to hear it for yourself. You can also hear the different tones by playing the bowl on different places. So let's try actually a wooden wand at the base. And then at the top. Lower on the bowl, we can hear the lower tones. I'll use the same mallet, and higher on the bowl, you'll hear the higher tones come out. Play with your bowl and see if you can hear how many tones your bowl has, or just see if you can hear different tones to begin with. A question I'm often asked about the Tibetan singing bowls is which chakra your specific bowl might represent. Every single Tibetan bowl actually represents all 7 chakras because they're made up of 7 different metals, each one corresponding to a different chakra. So although your bowl will have some tones, and those tones will represent different chakras, know that even if you only have one bowl, you can still balance and affect all 7 of the main chakras simply because of what the bowl is made of. If you are able to purchase more than one bowl, for example 2, make sure that the 2 bowls sound pleasing together, that they sound nice. For example, la la. That's a very lovely, pleasing interval to the ear, compared to this sound is a little more dissonant. Now, personally, I still really like dissonant sounds. But if you're only going to be playing 2 bowls over and over again, you want to make sure that it's the pleasing sound. Otherwise, you could actually disrupt your energy. If, however, you can purchase up to 3 bowls, it's really nice then to have both a pleasing set and a dissonant set. The main thing to consider when choosing your Tibetan singing bowl is whether or not it feels right for you. Trust that whichever one you're drawn to is the right one for you at this moment in time, and know that you can always add to your collection later on. Start with one bowl and trust it's the right one.